YouTube channel. I'm doing a bit of a new series called Day in the Life or Weekend in the Life in Chicago. As many of you might not know, outside of traveling the world, I do live in Chicago, and I've lived in downtown Chicago for about 7 years, but grew up in the area. So come along with me as I take you around what I get up to this weekend. I've made it to the Palmisano Park that I have actually never been to, so this is kind of a after work solo adventure that I'm taking myself on because I have heard really great things, and it's supposed to have a beautiful view of the skyline. So I've just come down here. It's a little bit after the work day. Took the L down, the purple line to the orange line, and now we're just gonna go walk around the park and then see where the rest of the evening takes us. I believe this park is about 26 acres in the Bridgeport neighborhood in Chicago. Like I said, I've never actually been here, and it's been on my list for a really long time to come see it, and it's a beautiful August day. And it's not too hot. We had a really hot summer so far, very humid, so I think it was a good evening to come out and see this part of Chicago. I have to say, this is one of my new favorite spots in Chicago. It has an incredible view of the skyline, but it also just has a nice park right at the top of the hill, but it's also relatively easy to get to because it's just right off the the orange line stop. That's probably maybe 5 to 10 minute walk. So I've just spent the last hour sitting on one of the benches looking at the view, but I also brought my book to sit and read for a little bit. And now I'm taking the bus back to my apartment and gonna almost call it a day since the sun is going down. I'm just packing all my things to go to the farmer's market this morning. Doing that first off because I want to get some apples at the farmer's market to make a apple crumble for breakfast this morning, and get a few other things for recipes that I was thinking of doing. I also go to the farmer's market with like 2 things in mind and end up coming home with a whole basket. So we'll see what we come with today. So we're gonna go ahead and get everything ready to head to the farmer's market. So I'm headed to the Lincoln Park Farmers Market. That is very close to where I live, so that just so happens to be, I think, one of the bigger ones in the city that's across from Hotel Lincoln in the park. So I'm walking there now this morning to get my produce to make some yummy things. I'm now back in my kitchen to use the apples that I got at the farmer's market to make an apple crumble of sorts. So now I'm just out for a little hot girl walk, if you want to call it, after breakfast, after the farmer's market, because it's such a nice day out and I want to enjoy as many of these as we can until it gets very cold. So now I'm walking through the Gold Coast part of Chicago. I love walking through this area because it just has beautiful houses, nice and shaded, but I tend to keep most of my walks in Lincoln Park itself, but it kind of juts up to the neighborhood that I'm walking through anyway, and I think I'll swing through to go by the lakefront as well, because I think it's just, it'll be a nice beautiful day. Probably since it's a Saturday morning, there'll be people starting to head to the beach since it's still pretty warm today. Saturday where everyone is out for a bike ride, or for a walk, or out for a swim at the beach, or just along the water here, and then everyone out on the boat. So it's a wonderful day to be out for a walk along the lakefront. Walking along the lakefront is always one of my favorite things to do. Sometimes I love coming out more so in the early morning hours because there's less people, but it also is fun just to be out here on a Saturday in nice weather and see Chicago in its best in the summer, and that's why we all live here through the cold winters. So yeah, I've just been enjoying. It's taken me quite a while to walk from all the way over there to where I am here because I've been taking a lot of photos and videos as I've been walking along. So I've taken the bridge back over near North Avenue Beach, it's right behind me, to come over back into the park because I'm going to finish my walk in the park, head home to relax for a little bit, maybe go have some lunch. And then I'm actually going to Logan Square in a little bit because I'm celebrating a friend's birthday today. I would say this is probably one of the most ideal ways that I can spend a Saturday in the summer. Is getting up early, going to the farmer's market, coming home, making something from said farmer's market that I bought, and then coming out for a long walk in the park or by the lakefront. And then later, I'm also going to be making lunch of some of the things that I got from the farmer's market and spending some time with friends later. So this is a perfect Saturday in Chicago in a book. And I'd like to give a shout out to the musical styling of the cicadas who have made an appearance in so much of this video. So thank you to the cicadas for giving us a symphony of your chirps. I've just got back from my walk and I'm now just relaxing in my sunroom, having a drink, and my goal for the weekend was to finish my book, which I'm reading Paul Theroux's The Great Railway Bazaar. It's pretty good. I enjoy reading other travel writers. So I am just gonna sit here for the next little bit and relax before I need to make lunch, which I am making. I made homemade bread a couple days ago and I got some lettuce and tomatoes and potatoes at the farmer's market because I'm going to make a homemade sandwich with tofu. And after that, like I said, I have to head to Logan Square because I'm going to my friend's birthday at I think a pizza place. And then later tonight I'm excited because I'm meeting my best friend and we're going to watch a movie in the park at Oz Park. We're going to watch The Wizard of Oz, which is always one of my favorites. Alright, so I'm now back in my bathroom. Getting ready for my friend's birthday. I ended up being very hangry and just making lunch very quickly and also eating it, except you saw me slice some bread and a tomato. But it was delicious nonetheless, and I also had made homemade pesto from the basil I also got from the farmer's market and from some of my own because that's the only plant that I'll let live in my house is a basil plant because I love making homemade pesto. Now we're gonna get ready, put some makeup on, Square. I just took the bus over, which is always super quick and easy. But we're going to Pizza Lobo in Logan Square, and that's where I'm meeting my friends for the next couple hours. Now I'm gonna get ready to head to Oz Park, where we're gonna watch Wizard of Oz, which, yes, Oz Park has statues around the park of Wizard of Oz characters, so it's very fitting that this movie is being played here today, and it's put on by the Park District, so it's free, and it's a beautiful evening, and we're gonna go watch it and relax and hang out. A lovely good morning on this very sunny Sunday morning. I've actually been up for the last couple of hours. I laid in bed for a while. I did a little bit of a hurkle-durkle, which, if you don't know, is a Scottish term that I think basically just means you enjoy laying in bed for a little bit longer than you know you should. I'll put the exact definition of it here because it's pretty great and I love a good hurkle-durkle. But then I just got up, had breakfast, had some coffee, and I've just now been at my computer doing some editing. So really nothing that exciting, but utilizing the Sunday morning kind of relaxing vibe. And then I think in a little bit, I'm either gonna go for a run or a bike ride because it is much cooler than it has been all summer. And I'm gonna take advantage of that. And then we'll see where the afternoon takes me. I'm not quite sure, but that's the best thing about living in Chicago and having a nice sunny day. All right, so I'm about to head out for my run. It is almost actually noon, so I really have just been working on a new video and getting that up and enjoying the cooler weather coming through of the breeze into my apartment. So, and getting just some things organized and cleaned in my apartment that is not that fun. So let's go for a run. I usually go through the park, through Lincoln Park, and then head to the lakefront to finish it. I've always been a runner, so I usually do about 6 to 8 miles depending on the weather and how I feel and my hips hurt. So let's go. Alright, so I'm about halfway on my run, which I'm at the Milton Lee Olive Park. Sometimes I like to come here as my turnaround point, walk for a few minutes, check out the view, and continue on before I get too tired. But I don't tend to record most of what I'm seeing while I'm running because I'm focusing on burning up. As you can see, my face is red as a tomato, which tends to happen on a warmer day. So. Got back from my run a little bit ago and came back and had lunch because I was very hungry, and then showered and was just giving myself a little time to scroll on my phone. But now I need to go do a few errands. Mainly they're all in Lakeview on Broadway, so I'm gonna head over there and you're gonna come along with me. Okay, so I am out doing my errands. I'm specifically walking to the coffee and tea exchange, which is about 30 minutes from my apartment, a 30-minute walk, which really isn't too bad. It's a nice day, and it's one of my favorite parts about living in a walkable community. And I'm gonna probably stop at a few other spots along the way on Broadway and Lakeview specifically. I love this part of Lakeview down Broadway because it has so many of the best cute little shops, restaurants, cafes, you name it, they have it. I love coming here. They have great bookshops, pet stores, thrift stores, plenty of things to do in this part of Lakeview. You also have a lot of errands you need to run as well. I wasn't planning on the bookshop, but it's only a few shops away from where I needed to go, and I love seeing what new books they have, and I always end up in the travel section, naturally. So I finished up my errands for the evening. I ended up getting quite a bit of coffee because my mom, I've hooked her on this coffee place, so I always pick her up some coffee since I'll be seeing her soon. And I decided to take the more scenic route through the park because Broadway is only a few blocks west of the park that's near the Diversity driving range right here. And I have to walk then through Lincoln Park to get back to my house. So I figured I'd go through the park since it's about 5:30, almost 6 o'clock, and it is still so beautiful out. I gotta say, I love days like this where I spend the morning just kind of relaxing, doing some work, and then going on a long run or bike ride. It's the perfect weather, and then spending my afternoon again just kind of relaxing or having a nice lunch, and then going out doing some errands and taking a walk back through the park. These are some of my favorite kind of days, and being able to do all the errands that I needed to in a short distance from each other. I've now just stopped at the park near the Lincoln Park Conservatory, which is right behind me. They have really great spots to come sit, nice benches, a nice fountain, and it can get pretty quiet, especially on like a Sunday evening when everyone is having dinner. And I've come to start another one of my books. I finished the Paul Thoreau book, and I'm doing See You in the Piazza by Frances Mays, who's also the author of Under the Tuscan Sun. I have really gotten into some of the travel writing books lately, but I'm a huge nonfiction person, so if there's any good recommendations that you have, especially in the travel writing space or just any sort of nonfiction book, put it in the comments below because I'm always looking for new recommendations and getting them at the Chicago Library. So I am just heading back to my apartment now, but I think I'm gonna go ahead and end the video here because I am just gonna go back to my apartment, relax, hang out. It's a Sunday night, not much more to show and see, but I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I really enjoyed making it. I think I will do these every once in a while, probably not every weekend, but I think every so often, just to show what I get up to in a weekend living in Chicago, because I think it's such an incredible place to live, and I'm happy to take you along as I go about my weekend. So I appreciate you watching. If you did enjoy it, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more of these kind of videos or any of my travel videos. But until next time, thank you.